College game day is coming to the Big 12.
Heard that.
Do we? Okay. Can I say something? It is awesome. They're coming to the Big 12. Utah and Cincinnati both weren't Big 12 teams 4 years ago. So just a wild matchup to come to. And I'm happy they're here. But we've seen them avoid us for 2.5 years. They just haven't shown up on a Big 12 campus for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that thinks Brett Yormark looks at this and goes, screw off. Like, we don't even, like, TNT is covering us. Yeah. Fox is covering us well. We don't care. We don't want you. Which you turn on the Big 12. You turn on a Big 12 game on TNT. They do a great job of covering it. You turn on the College Game Day without Lee Corso, and they don't do a good job of covering anything. They go to Desmond Howard. Desmond's like, man, these two teams have good quarterbacks. Like Desmond. And it's what's always great is they'll go straight from Desmond to Kirk Herbstreit, and Herbstreit will go, both the starting quarterbacks are out this week, so it should be an interesting game. It happens. It's foolproof. It happens every week. He's like
touching Desmond Howard on the arm. He's like, so I know what you mean. And then it's just like, but here's the exact opposite.
Dez is the new Lee Corso. It's so bad.
Yeah. Lee seems a little bit more alert to the current college football game than Desmond Howard does, but yeah.
And both of us have covered Big 12 teams for the better part of 2 decades, right? And so I look at Utah and Cincinnati and I think, Big 12 college game day. It just feels a little weird. If it was Texas Tech and TCU during that TCU national championship contending run, that feels Big 12. This is a very odd way for the Big 12 to display itself, and I'm not sure if the full country is going to respect it.
Yeah, and this sucks to say, and it goes against everything we believe in the Big 12, but going off your point, it almost feels like it used to when they would have Boise State versus Utah. And you were like, these are two good teams. Like, these are two good BCS busting teams, but they were BCS busters. They're playing outside the power conferences. Like, that's what it feels like. And that's not even necessarily the Big 12's fault. That's just, hey, ESPN is all about these two conferences, mainly the SEC, right? We're going to be all about these conferences and these very select schools that when these two pretty good football teams match up, the rest of the nation is, hearkening it back to, Gary Patterson versus Kyle Whittingham in the Mountain West days. That's the way they're looking at it. And that's the thing. It's like ESPN, you talk about when was the last time they came to the conference for College Game Day, but it's also like every week we hear them disparage this conference. I mean, the AP poll, which we just went over in the last segment, is usually not all that different from the outside of the top 4 or 6 of what ESPN's going to do for their college football playoff poll. So we see that all the time. As much as we laugh at those polls, like, it's not just that they don't show up here; they almost don't know that this exists anymore.
I don't get. So I don't want to dog Utah. I think Utah is one of the top, maybe 3 or 4 Big 12 teams. Right. Yes. If they were to play Cincinnati head to head, as they will this weekend, you could learn that Utah is better than Cincinnati or better than Houston. There's a chance to the 3rd best team in the Big 12, only behind Texas Tech and BYU because of the scheduling. That's where they sit. But it feels like, too, Cincinnati fans probably aren't going to show up. They aren't going to show up in Salt Lake the way that BYU would have. We could have gotten a great college game day representation of the Big 12 with BYU and Utah. This is a game where, in essence, here's what I'm kind of getting at, and you can corroborate or push back. If Utah wins this game, it only further helps ESPN go, well, the Big 12 sucks. The higher ranked team lost because they were on the road because the Big 12 is just not good and has no elite teams. Like, they're setting the Big 12 up to go, oh, look how cute. That's what it feels like. ESPN going, oh, look how cute. Utah and Cincinnati, the 2-loss team in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels. Because the game I was thinking of was, again, Tennessee versus Georgia. And Tennessee loses that game at home. And nothing happens to them, right? They're still in the top 15 right now, almost a month and a half, 2 months later, they're still in the top 15. Their reputation does not get tarnished. But whoever loses this game, not in the rankings anymore. Probably really struggling to get back in, even though they'd have 2 losses probably.
And may finish 10-2.
And that's how ESPN thinks of it. of like, yeah, here's our new little puppy here. You want to adopt him? Look at these two teams. How cute are they?
Maybe I should be excited that College Game Day is coming to the Big 12. And there'll be Utah fans like, oh, of course, he's mad because it's Utah. It's good when the Big 12 gets publicity, but this doesn't feel genuine. And I don't know if we should immediately accept College Game Day when for 2.5 years they've ignored this conference. And I've heard from Utah fans that have actually used that fact as a way to knock the Big 12 as a truck stop conference. Like, oh, we're in a league the College Game Day doesn't even want to go to, and now we're the only ones who can get it for you. Like, I don't think that every Utah fan is like that. But it's this idea that, you know, your stepmom really hates you. You're Cinderella. And the one time your stepmom's like, so do you want to go to the party with me? Like, it's almost a better slap in the face to say no. It just feels like pity. And I don't like the optic of this. Maybe I'm thinking too far into it, but they've ignored us for 2.5 years. I don't know why we should be so accepting of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say ever to turn it down, but I absolutely get the sentiment. And again, I wish I disagreed with you here. That would make it better. But like, I get that feeling of like, at this point, we don't need College Game Day. And College Game Day for a long time was somewhere between a novelty and something iconic, right? Like when College Game Day came to your school, it was a big deal, big deal, right? It wasn't like, oh my gosh, moment of the decade kind of thing, but there was a certain legitimacy to it when they were there. And the last couple of years when they just recycled the same places over and over, and Fox has put up a very good competing show, it doesn't have that prestige anymore, but it is still meant to be a cool event. It is still meant to be like a great thing for students to go to and enjoy, and you know, have the experience of staying up all night and sleeping in the tents outside and all that crap. But what I'm trying to say is I don't think there's enough of that prestige anymore for the Big 12 to be like begging, oh, please come to our city, please come to our city. Like, it's nice, it still is, it's still a honor is probably a strong word, but a nice privilege to have. But it's close as it's ever been to people at those schools actually being like, actually, we're good. We don't need you. We're fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that?
Maybe. And again, maybe I should be excited. I should be happy. But
I know that feeling. Like, I understand that gut feeling, that gut reaction to it of like, oh, okay, yeah. It's just now you're coming to us. Yeah.
It's not
and think about the negative, which we said earlier, right? Of like, oh, well, what's that going to mean for what team loses? Because in the SEC, that doesn't matter. In the Big 10, that doesn't matter. The team that loses, it sucks for them, but it doesn't really matter. In the Big 12, it does.
If I may, it almost feels like not that we didn't earn it, but almost like we didn't earn it. Like the Jets, or, you know, name your awful team, the Browns, playing on Thursday Night Football because you have to play one primetime game a year. Yeah,
the Jags, like that's the feeling. The Patriots.
I didn't earn this, but I have to be here, and
I almost don't even want it.
That's where, if it was Texas Tech and BYU, 2 top 10 teams next weekend, you're like, okay, wow. I mean, all right, maybe this is a big. This is 2 top 10. You have no other question but to go to this game.
Yeah,
this is Cincinnati, Utah. Just doesn't roll off the tongue. Just doesn't roll off the tongue. And
I mean, 2 teams that the national media doesn't know anything about. Anything.
Yeah. They wouldn't know that Utah has maybe the best backup quarterback in the country.
They would have no idea. Charlie Brewer get back there.
Well, they've decided to relegate. Actually, Cameron Rising to the backup quarterback spot, and he is elite. He stays healthy in that position. That's Cam Stewart.
At a bunch of quarterbers
at real Cam Stewart
at some point.
Wouldn't one of them Baylor commit drones? Kyron Drones.
That's it.
At real Cam Stewart on Twitter and wherever you find your podcast with Locked On Baylor. This has been, it always will be, Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. A crossover with Baylor and Dose Grande.